The Great American Hijack. We were told the 250th anniversary was a bipartisan celebration of the country. The reality is a synchronized dark money operation hiding in plain sight. This is wild. And here's the thing. If you've been watching the Adam Mockler channel, or frankly been scrolling your phone at all, you know that this event, Donald Trump's Great American State Fair, has been a complete disaster. There's certainly, to say the least, a lack of people there. The fair itself is falling apart. Today we had some interviews with people on the fairgrounds being like, this is terrible, this is awful. I'm going to show you guys that. But we also just got this huge report from Democrats outlining all sorts of things. I'm going to give you a summary in just a second. But one of those things is that the Trump administration has been using this state fair to inject Christian nationalism and right-wing bullshit, onto the American people. This whole thing is supposed to be bipartisan. And the areas of this fair, and frankly, any event relating to this held by the federal government is supposed to be outlining our history from an objective point of view. But the Trump administration, alleged in this report, has actually been bypassing that completely without anybody knowing and downplaying things like slavery, claiming that the Native Americans just willingly gave up their land. It's Christian nationalism. It is scary. It is wild. And we have got to talk about it. So let's start here really quickly. I just want to play a portion of this video on CNN breaking down some of this report because it's a huge report. So we're just going to get kind of a basic idea here in 30 seconds of what it's about, and then we'll continue before I hit play. My name is Chris Mowrey. I do a daily video here on the Adam Mockler channel. It would mean a lot if you go right down below, hit like, hit subscribe, share the video out. It really helps us and also get the word out there. This is crazy stuff that people need to know about. And also right down below is a link to my YouTube channel, Chris D. Mowrey. I post videos very similar to this. It would mean a lot if you check it out. You guys are the best. I hope you're having a safe and fun weekend. All right, take a listen.
What's alleged here by Democrats on the House Natural Resources Committee, Pamela, is that there was a hostile takeover by Freedom 250 of the congressionally approved America 250. That was approved 10 years ago. Bipartisan basis was going to run the show this week. Freedom 250 is Trump-aligned, if not Trump-sycophantic. And what they're alleging is that Freedom 250 was trying to urge or nudge America 250 to shift the programming toward Trump. Didn't happen, so they took it over, including, according to the committee, took some of the money that was to go to America 250. Further alleged in this investigation is that there was some form of a misleading of donors who thought they were donating to the original group, America 250, but were misled to instead donate to Freedom 250. What the committee alleges is that there was a fraud perpetrated by Freedom 250, the group behind so many events, including that Great American State Fair. I want to underscore we've reached out to the White House and Freedom 250. The White House has not commented. Freedom 250 has not responded.
Of course, they have not. So, again, the shell game. A shadow LLC was lodged inside the National Park Foundation to collect anonymous corporate cash in exchange for presidential access. See, like Scott McFarland just said on CNN, 10 years ago, 2016, there's this government entity set up, America 250, this bipartisan thing to fund what was supposed to be this weekend's events. And a shell company, a shadow LLC, was formed under the National Park Foundation in the government called Freedom 250, essentially because the Trump administration was trying to pressure America 250 and the people leading that to pump things like Christian nationalism, do things that politically align with the Trump administration for America's anniversary, for the 250th anniversary. America 250 said no, and so the Trump administration lodges this shadow LLC under the National Park Foundation, which has no oversight and practically no one knows about it, and they use it to essentially act as if they are America 250. They mislead donors to donate to Freedom 250 instead of America 250. They use a lot of it for data harvesting. Registering for a free family event routes your personal data directly into a political targeting operation. Fundraiser, misled donors, routing money meant for the legitimate nonpartisan commission directly into the shadow corporation. Public servants were ordered to erase factual histories from parks, replacing it with propaganda trucks and an AI-generated George Washington. Hundreds of millions in taxpayer funds were drained from the legitimate America 250 Commission and are now unaccounted for. And that's the thing. They were supposed to get $100 million. Only $25 million has been accounted for. So you already know here. You can already guess based on just this is the most corrupt administration of all time. Donald Trump and his little goons have been sucking money out of this and getting rich somehow. We're still kind of putting those pieces together. But they've also basically hijacked the whole thing and made it hyper partisan. I also want to point out, because that's very dark and that's very scary. I'm going to get into more specifics here. But the last 24 hours for this fair in general have been very dark. 7 Trump State Fair attendees required advanced life support amid scorching heat. We know at least 11 people went to the hospital and 7 people on advanced life support. That's really scary. Please stay safe out there. I know it's been very hot the last few days here in Chicago, finally getting a little bit of a cool down. So please, again, stay cool. Now, this report is 55 pages, and I just want to read like 2 sentences to you that are really important. Freedom 250's Freedom Trucks operation is one of the means used to promote a counterfeit history of the country. Again, this is directly from House Democrats. This is the report. In the exhibits, slavery's role is downplayed. In the exhibits, slavery's role is downplayed. Thomas Jefferson is credited with saying that the slave trade is a, quote, cruel war against human nature itself, while being silent on his ownership of over 600 enslaved people. Native Americans are described as people whose, quote, lands and property shall never be taken from them without their consent, when the opposite was true. There is no mention of the acquisition by military conquest of large sections of the country from Mexico and Spanish colonies, etc., etc., etc. So this is part of the takeover. You defraud investors and you start using the money you're getting with Freedom 250 to inject this Christian nationalism. It is scary as hell. Now, the only bright side to this is that very few people are showing up. Does it make it any better? No, but thank God Donald Trump claims it's packed, and what a surprise, it is not packed, because nobody needs to be seeing this right-wing bullshit that is an absolute lie pushed by very sick people within this administration. Here's an article from today. The fair doesn't feature any roller coasters or carnival rides, just a 110-foot Ferris wheel. Here's an article from today talking about the fair. He claimed on True Social that the crowd was, quote, packed to the brim with 45,000 attendees. However, photographs taken at the event tell a different story, with NBC News saying attendance was, quote, nowhere near that figure. This looks packed to me. This looks packed to the brim, this photo right here. Oh, and this photo right here, packed to the absolute brim. I said earlier that the fair itself was falling apart. This going really viral online. Caulk is visibly oozing from the columns of the false Arc de Trump on display at the Great American State Fair. Look at that. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below if you know why this would be happening. I mean, oh, it looks so gross. It's like falling apart. Maybe it's the heat. It's like expanding or something. I don't know. Somebody who knows more than me would know the answer to this. People joking around online. Did the pool guy do that one too? This is who, was in charge of the whole pool operation that didn't go so well, the reflecting pool. Turned a little bit green. I don't know. I can't really remember. Does anyone remember that? We also got this video that went really, really viral. I'm going to hit play on this. Thank God no one was hurt here, but literally the fair falling apart here. Oh my goodness. That could have been such a disaster. Let me know if you saw this video. But again, the fair going on and like a panel from up top falls, and thank God it didn't hit anybody, but it could have been very, very, very ugly. This person posting, just so people get an idea of how barren Donald Trump's Great American State Fair is for the celebration of the 250th anniversary of the United States. This was the crowd on day 2 during midday. The event is so empty, they have stopped showing it on the Fox 5 DC live stream. And I'm sure you've seen here on the Adam Mockler channel all these different clips of it being so empty. And those clips continue from today. You probably haven't seen this clip. It's very new. Empty. It's always empty. Nobody is going to this absolute garbage. Before we get into some more of the right-wing stuff, take a listen to this interview on the fairgrounds. Let's hear what people think. What do people who are actually at the fair think of all of this? Take a listen.
What do you think of all of this?
Not much.
Not much, and
I've been to state fairs all throughout the United States. This is terrible.
and how so?
It's a program-length advertisement for the president.
It's interesting. It's very interesting. I've never seen anything like this before, for sure, in my 27 years of living in Virginia and near the D.C. area.
And does anything jump out at you?
No, nothing.
There's no cows, there's no sheep, there's no goats. It's not a state fair without animals.
There's a butter cow, I'm told, at least in the Iowa booth, maybe.
It'll melt by tomorrow.
I'm totally underwhelmed. It's part political. That arch over there is, I think, promoting one of Trump's vanity projects. I compare this to the Smithsonian Folklife Festival that they do every year, which is wonderful. It really, talks about different cultures and countries. This is so bland, but I had to come down and see it.
The multiple stages at the event were largely empty.
So, again, this is the only positive to come out of what we're talking about today with this new reporting about this Christian nationalism is, number one, again, thank God there are smart enough people there, like one of the individuals there, saying this is literally just promoting the president, which goes down the same line, promoting this right-wing garbage. But also just thank God there's nobody there and nothing to do. Because here's the thing, the only thing that ever matches the cruelty of this administration, say it with me, is their incompetence. And so again, that is a plus, that not too many people are seeing this garbage. Now, as we talk about Christian nationalism and these very sick people within the administration trying to rewrite history, who is helping them? Who is close to this administration who has expressed very strange views about Christianity, about the Pope? Very much appears that they want to rewrite a lot of the realities of what Christianity teaches and has the power to do so. Peter Thiel, the Pope is, quote, working for the Chinese communists. Billionaire tech investor Peter Thiel delivered a series of provocative warnings and predictions about the future of artificial intelligence and the West on Tuesday, accusing Pope Leo of inadvertently serving as a, quote, Chinese communist agent by calling for AI regulation. This was somebody pressing Peter Thiel very recently about, obviously, all of his controversies. Take a listen.
Mr. Thiel, do you have any comments about Palantir's surveillance of the American people, sir? Or any of your connections to Jeffrey Epstein? I think people are rather concerned about that last particular one. You're setting up a Big Brother surveillance system, and people know it, sir. Do you think the American people want this surveillance tech being used against them? Any comments at all on the Epstein connections? You were meeting with them. People are waking up to what you're doing there, sir. That's why we're here covering this.
Peter Thiel not having a lot to say here, but again, who would have the power in the Trump administration? As they're committing this fraud, they have this kind of secret corporation set up to defraud people, to take more control over this America 250 ordeal, help create this political spin on it, help inject Christian nationalism. Who could help them do that? Somebody like Peter Thiel, somebody who lives in, somebody who runs Palantir, somebody who has expressed a lot of discontent with the Pope. Maybe he wants to write his own version of Christianity and this very hateful vision that would give him more power in the United States and would give Donald Trump more power and help all these other sick people retain their power. You get the idea. Peter Thiel moves family to Argentina to flee high taxes and potential nuclear war AI meltdown report. It's been very interesting to me the last few months. A lot of people talking about this, the fact that Peter Thiel moved, concerned about the future of the United States. Who do you think created that future? Question mark. But again, the administration is aligned on this. You give them the tools and the power and the resources, they will go to war. You give them the power, the tools, and the resources. They will push this absolute garbage, this Christian nationalist, hateful, racist, effing garbage as much as they can.
Then we have Pope Leo, Mr. Vice President, and a lot of more conservative Catholics are concerned, and Christians, just regular Christians, are concerned that we have a Pope in him, God bless him, who is very deeply, in some regard, anti-capitalist. Similar to the last pope, who was seen to be very anti-capitalist as well, very critical of the Trump immigration policies as well. So are you concerned about that?
No, I'm not concerned, Laura. I mean, I maybe just don't see it the same way. I don't see Pope Leo as anti-capitalist. I do think that some of the things that have come out of the Vatican on the immigration question in particular have been troubling, and ultimately I disagree with it. But I actually like this interplay, Laura, between the Pope, between Christian clergy, and between the administration. We don't always have to agree on these issues, but I think the fact that we're actually having the right conversations, that we're pushing back when we disagree about, how they're, applying a pragmatic principle of immigration policy, that's a natural and reasonable thing to do. But I do think that we learned something in the interplay. And what I would hope that the Catholic leadership has learned from some of the things that me and Marco and the president have said about immigration is it's not just about the dignity of the immigrant. It's also about the dignity of the native-born family. I actually like this concern, Laura. I mean,
And then we have Pope Leo, Mr. Vice President, and a lot of more conservative Catholics are concerned, and Christians, just regular Christians, are concerned that we have a Pope in him, God bless him, who is very deeply, in some regard, anti-capitalist. Similar to the last pope, who was seen to be very anti-capitalist as well, very critical of the Trump immigration policies as well. So are you concerned about that?
I don't think you need to hear where J.D. Vance is going to go with this. If you're starting off an interview like this, you are on the wrong side of history, my friend. The Pope is very, quote, anti-capitalist and against the administration's immigration policies. What a Democrat. An evil, dirty Democrat the Pope is. These people are deranged. Diabolical it is. Theo Von doing an interview with Donald Trump before the election. Maybe could look to Theo Von to take a little bit of accountability here. But obviously, you have heard what Donald Trump has said about Pope Leo and his disagreements with the Pope, which, again, just historically, not a good place to be. Not really, just from a third-party perspective here. If you're disagreeing with the Pope this heavily on something like crime, or the Pope's like, hey, and obviously you've heard Donald J. Trump and his disagreements with the Pope. Again, I think anybody being objective, not a great place to be historically, if this is how you're talking about the Pope.
Bishop Robert Barron supports you and your policies. He praises you for defending religious freedom.
Yeah.
He now says you owe Pope Leo an apology. Will you apologize?
No, I don't, because Pope Leo said things that are wrong. He was very much against what I'm doing with regard to Iran, and you cannot have a nuclear Iran. Pope.
That's right. When Pope Leo's like, hey, you're killing tons of innocent people, don't do that, he's wrong. These people are sick and deranged, and they're going to continue to try to push this Christian nationalist right-wing bullshit down our throats. That's why it's important everybody knows about this. We will keep you updated here on the Adam Mockler channel. Make sure you like and subscribe down below. Check out my YouTube channel. I appreciate it if you made it this far. You guys are the best. Please have a safe and enjoyable weekend, and I will see you back here tomorrow.